Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here, weatherweb.net, and it is Thursday the 7th of November. Thanks again for watching. This one online a little bit later than normal, so apologies for that, but hopefully the info in it is still useful to you. And Super Typhoon Hyan is a feature we've been watching through the day. Here it is, spectacular satellite picture from 5:30 this evening, look, because it's heading into the Philippines. That's got winds of over 220 miles per hour associated with it. Look at that eye, real perfect example. And it's forecast to be tracking westwards through the Philippines and then out into the South China Sea over the coming days before it makes landfall in southeastern Vietnam in the weekend, or over the weekend. By the time it makes landfall in Vietnam, even then the winds are still going to be at 120 miles per hour plus. So this really is a major feature going into this region of the world. Nothing so spectacular back home. If we look at the NAO first of all for the next couple of weeks, notice how that stays in positive territory here. Look, the blue colour showing positive territory. The black is actually where it is at the moment. Now, something to notice here, because it's reflective of the uncertainty in the models at the moment, how they're bouncing around between this idea of high pressure building and a tendency for that high to build in and not. You notice that the black line is a long way away from the blue mean line of the ensemble prediction here. Look, quite a big difference between the two. That's something that we've got to be aware of and watch, because it shows that the forecast actually hasn't been going according to plan. But at the moment, it's predicted to be in this positive territory, which will keep the westerly winds and the more unsettled conditions going across the Atlantic for now. And then it dips into negative territory during the middle stages, well, the latter stages of next week. And the Arctic oscillation stays in that positive territory too. In fact, the models underestimate it a little bit. It stays in that positive territory, which basically keeps the cold air flowing around the poles. So actually that's a sign for next week as well, that we are unlikely to see real significant cold outbreaks of air. However, there's been this running story through the course of this week of pressure building, then not building, then building, then not building, and the prediction saying it would be there and then it's not there. And this actually, this graph shows it quite well. This is the time series of pressure for Birmingham. It's from the GFS ensemble model as provided at weatheronline.co.uk. The red line is what we're interested in here. That's the mean of the ensemble runs. And you notice here, look, how air pressure rises dramatically into next week. So this here is Tuesday where it peaks. Then it falls off as we go through the course of the week, and we get back into lower pressure here by the time we're getting into the weekend after next. But this pressure here is 1,030. This here is around 1,020, taking us up to next Friday. So actually, it's trying to say, look, high pressure building in. But then when you look at the ECMWF prediction from 12 o'clock today, this is the actual, showing you this westerly flow across the Atlantic, across the UK, strong jet stream in there as well. This is for Friday, the westerly still there. Saturday, we're starting to see a bit of a ridge build out in the west. Sunday, that ridge has managed to get in, look, and it's brought a surface ridge here too through the country, pumping up warm air here, trying to get that ridge going, but for some reason it just really can't get in because of the lower heights here up towards the north. So the ridge collapses away here off towards the east and the south. That high can't get going, so it tries to build another one, look, out towards the west. And by Tuesday, quite a sizable high here, an extension of the Azores high north of the Azores, with this ridge again building towards the north. But you see what's happening here, look, the warm air is building north, but it's meeting this colder air coming down from the pole here. It's meeting it and basically just gets crushed off and gets forced for this ridge to collapse back southeastwards each time the ridge starts to build. So there is the ridge from the previous day, so that was the ridge from Tuesday. Here's the trough on Wednesday. Here's another ridge, look, trying to build behind, warm air again pumping northwards, but look, coming up against this colder air up here towards the north. And then eventually, look, we do start to see this ridge building in from the west again by the time we're getting into Thursday next week. But once again, it's a transitory feature. There it is, collapsed off towards the east because of this trough, pumping the cold air south. But then, look, another one tries to get going out here, and the pattern sort of repeats itself into next weekend. And by the 17th, got quite a big ridge built out here in the Atlantic, but a cold north to northwesterly trying to set in here according to the ECMWF. So the story from this today is this constant trying to build of pressure in the Atlantic, but it just can't get going because of that cold air cut off towards the north. However, that pattern is one that I've been telling you about. Look, with cold pool across the Mediterranean, and remember me telling you this is the setup of blocking. This is what we want to see if we want to get blocking in place. This warm air pumping its way northwards here, colder air coming down through the country, the development of the cold pool down here in the Mediterranean allows eventually this ridge to pop its way north and the high to build towards the north. Now, I think what we're going to wait for is for tomorrow's run of the JMA just to see how the longer range is shaping up, and of course we'll have that for you here at weatherweb.net as usual. But thoughts at the moment, still going on this idea of the pressures trying to build during the second half of November, but I'll know more about that tomorrow, and of course we'll keep you informed. But for now, thanks for watching weatherweb.net and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.